Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Raw Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. And hey, just to let you know, because a lot of you probably seen, I've been doing some review shows. It's just something I always wanted to do. So don't hate on the brother because he's doing something you like to do. I like to go out and eat. I like to go to movies. I like to shop. I like to go on vacations, whatever. So I just decided to bring you guys in on my day. That's all. I ain't doing this trying to get more subscribers or money like that. I'm just doing this because I'm always referring and telling people about great things. Might as well tell you. Now let's get into to news today. Wiki Leaks. This is according to The Hill. WikiLeaks says Senate panel requests Assange testimony for a Russian probe. First of all, Assange has been persecuted, pressed down, shaken together, and run it over by the government. And they're not a friend of Julian Assange. And if anybody want to request that, if I was Assange, I wouldn't give you a jack. What I would do is I would testify via satellite, like I've been testifying via satellite from the embassy in Ecuador. Why do you need me to come to wherever you need me to come to testify? I can testify via satellite. You don't need me. But let me get into this story. Say WikiLeaks is claiming that the Senate Intelligence Committee has asked its founder, Julian Assange, to testify as part of the panel's investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. Once again, Russia did not interfere in the 2016 presidential election. They did what they call a propaganda campaign to maneuver the thought process of people on who they prefer to be in office. They did it when Obama was in office. We do it to them. We do it better than anybody. It's called propaganda. It's not called influence. And if you ain't got a pea brain enough to realize that, I mean, the government think that we can't think for ourselves. You're so dumb that you don't have your own self-thinking. You're so dumb that we can influence your thinking process. And a lot of times they are true. Why? Because this whole thing about Russia was thought about over at Shake Shack on Shake Shack off of Fulton Street near Clinton headquarters. I know the place very well, in Brooklyn. And now the media, along with the Clinton campaign, have gotten you guys all up in arms, thinking the reason that she lost is because Russia had something to do with that. And if Russia didn't have nothing to do with that, she would have won. No. She was her own worst nightmare. But let me get into this. The organization posted a letter on its Twitter account dated August 1st that purports to come from committee leaders, Senators Richard Burr of North Carolina and Mark Warner of Virginia, two people who do not like Assange and who do want Assange locked up. Don't trust them, bruh. Requesting that he makes himself available for a closed-door interview with bipartisan committee staff at a mutually agreeable time and location. All right, how about you mutually agree to meet me in somewhere where it's feasible for me? I'm not meeting you, and you don't need to meet me face-to-face. There's many ways we can talk. We can do FaceTime, Messenger, Snapchat, whatever, but I'm not meeting you face-to-face so you can lock me up. No. Anyway, a spokeswoman for Warner declined to comment on witnesses. A spokeswoman for Burr also declined to comment. Assange's legal team is considering the offer, but testimony must conform to high ethical standards, WikiLeaks wrote on Twitter. Assange's testimony would be of interest to those investigating Russian interference in the 2016 election. WikiLeaks released troves of hacked emails from the Democratic National Committee, DNC, and Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, John Podesta, ahead of time of the 2016 election. The U.S. intelligence community has tied the email release to the broader plot by the Russian government to interfere in the election. Now, U.S. intelligence committee is always looking for a fight when they don't need to be looking for a fight. And that's what this is. Instead of you numbnuts looking at Assange in Russia, hey, you got a right to do that. But why don't you look at the contents of the email and the stuff that was hacked and do something about that? But no, you're too much of a punk. You ain't going to do nothing like that because you're little punks. Yeah, I said it. The unclassified U.S. intelligence assessment released in January 2017 concluded with high confidence that Russian intelligence officers relayed material in its acquired from DNC and senior Democratic officials to Wiki Leaks. James Comey, the FBI director, testified last year that Wiki Leaks did not communicate directly with the Russians but used some kind of cutout. All right, the person who leaked that information, so-called leaked most of the information, was supposed to be Gucci for 1, 2, 3. It could have been somebody here, and they used a VPN in Russia. From what I know, from what I heard, that the way the data was laid out, it had to be taking place somewhere locally in Washington, D.C. So it was more of a leak than a hack. But these hacks that's pushing this crap don't want to listen to that. They don't understand that this thing seemed like it came from locally. They don't want to talk about what's in the contents of the email, a whole bunch of criminal crap. They don't want to talk about that. All they don't want to do is poke fun at Russia, put sanction on Russia to seem like they're tough guys, and not really dealing with what was said. Why was this information leaked? The Senate Intelligence Committee has been investigating Russian interference for more than a year, interviewing witnesses behind closed doors or in public. Meanwhile, Special Counsel Robert Mueller, the lying hack who lied us into a war with Iraq, is spearheading the federal probe into Russia interference, just like he spearheaded a lot of stuff and he lied about. He's a liar. Liar, liar, liar. Pants on fire. Which include looking at the weather. There was a collusion between President Trump's campaign and Moscow. Last month, Mueller indicted 12 Russians working for the GRU. Whoop-de-doo, he indicted it. He indicted 12 Russians working for the GRU. They say they're working for the GRU. How do you know what they're saying is true? They have given you so much confidence that you believe every word that they say. The same people who railroaded Dr. Martin Luther King. The same person who railroaded Malcolm X. Even Kennedy. The same people. And you want to believe them now? The intelligence community. In connection to cyber attacks against the Democratic officials and system used to administer elections in the United States. What system did they use that they manipulated to administer elections in the United States? You have none. Because it's already been said that this had nothing to do with the election outcome. So what tools, what system of the Democratic officials or the Democratic Party that the Russians got a chance to manipulate? People? Because that's all you got is something about the people. WikiLeaks said the letter from the committee requested testimony was delivered via the United States Embassy in London. Assange had been held up in the Ecuador-London embassy since 2012, evading extradition. But there has been recent speculation that Assange could soon be evicted. Number one, the charges that he was held up in the embassy for was dropped. There's no reason for him to be there, but he continued to try to stay there because he know that the governments of the world do not like whistleblowers, do not like truth tellers. Reports surfaced in April 2017 that the U.S. officials were weighing charges against Assange under the Espionage Act. How? He's a reporter. He leaks information. It's a story. He did not steal it. So how you going to try to file charges against the Espionage Act when Hillary Clinton on purpose allowed top secret information to be leaked, on purpose put a server in her room, did all this stuff. But you don't look at her and her crimes, or most of the people in Washington, D.C., but somebody that's a truth teller, you want to poke fun and pick on them. You're a bully and a coward. But nevertheless, that's just what our government does sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong. I want trust and confidence in my leaders. I want trust and confidence in my government. And there's some good people in government, some good leaders. But that's very rare. Very few. All of them has sold out to the oligarchy. Majority of them has sold out to the military complex. The majority of them has sold out to the corporate complex, Wall Street. Majority of them has sold out to the pharmaceutical industry. And I can go on and on and on. Wiki Leaks first attracts attention nearly a decade ago when it published classified files stolen from U.S. Army soldier Chelsea Manning. Wiki Leaks tweeted Wednesday also shared an opinion article arguing that Britain should reject an effort by the United States to extradite him. In other words, he said, man up, other countries. You know what I'm doing is the right thing to do, and it's good for freedom, justice, equality, and all that. And the moment you come at me telling me it's not, is the moment you cause your own democracy to die. Now, I support Julian Assange because all he did was took information that somebody got on whatever, government, schools, corporations, you name it, and decided to share it with the public. He decided to put his own organization on the line solely to the fact the purpose and the mission is to expose corruption in every area of the world, especially in political governments. To let people see what they should see anyway. What he's doing is causing real transparency to take place because our government talk transparency game, but don't show it. He is totally different from Robert the hack lying Mueller, who only want to who already led us into war where hundreds of thousands of people died, including family members of mine, and that's why I got a personal beef with that liar. And all he's trying to do is look for somebody on the Republican side that's close to Trump and get corruption charges on it, which has nothing to do with the election, has nothing to do with Russia. He's looking for corruption, but he's being a one-sided hack and doing it instead of looking at what happened to Tony Podesta, Robert Mueller. What happened to you investigating him? No, you want to investigate people too close to the Trump circle. Now, I'm not a fan of Trump, and hey, he committed crimes, I believe, and he need to be brought up to face those crimes. I believe he violated the Monument Clause and a whole bunch of other things. But yeah, there are criminals and convicts and rule breakers on both sides. Julian Assange do not take sides. He do not do things with political convenience. He's exposed Republicans as well as he's exposed Democrats. And he do not deserve to be put in a position where he can be railroaded. He should be applauded. He should be cheered as a hero in the journalistic aspect of life. We need more people like him. Fortunately, I ain't got the brains like that, but we need more organizations like WikiLeaks that's going to leak out information that the American people have to know, or the people in general in the world community has to know about, that governments and agencies and companies are doing that totally violate human law, human reality. You just name it. All right, I'm done with this segment. If you go get a chance, go ahead and support Julian Assange. Donation, T-shirt, whatever. This man is a hero who is exposing organizations for the dirty dog crooks they are. And they just mad that we know what's going on. I'm done with this story. I'm Robert Brown, BOBTV, with the Rob Report. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Hey, if you like the content, please like it, share it through all the social media platforms. If you have not subscribed, make sure you stop me right now and subscribe. Don't just subscribe, but hit the notification bell like that, a little bell. You gotta click that. That'll let you know when I'm dropping a video. Whoop, there it is. And by all means, if you want to support through Patreon, I appreciate people who appreciate the program and want to donate to the cause on BOBTV. And I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report.